Hey everyone, Ken's Wild here with Wild Child, and welcome to another day of Vlogmas.
Little ponytail girl grown up to be a woman, now she's gone in a blink of an eye. She left the suds in a bucket and her clothes hanging out on the line.
First off, how do you guys like my hair? So I got it done with Sarah yesterday. If you guys watched yesterday's Vlogmas episode, you saw that chaotic adventure. So in today's episode, I'm going to show you guys how I design and do all of my merchandise, just because I thought it would be fun to show you guys the actual process and the fact that a lot goes into it. It's not like I just click a few buttons and there we go. Now, some of my designs are easier. So like this one, crop store for the bedroom, not your horse. That one was pretty easy. I basically just slapped some text on something, drew a crop, and there we go. But some of them are a little bit more in-depth, and so I'm going to show you guys one of those in-depth ones today. So let's get started. First things first, I use a tablet because it's a whole hell of a lot easier to draw on than my phone. And I start by just picking a photo that I really like that I want to add to my design. This is one of my favorites of Legend, and so we're going to do this one. I use an app called Ibis Paint. Ibis Paint is like my best friend. I've used it for years. I really like it. It's a really nice app. When you open up Ibis Paint, you're going to hit My Gallery. You're going to hit the big plus in the corner so that you can add a photo. You're going to hit Import Picture. And from there, it's going to ask you which app you want to use. I'm choosing Google Photos because that's where this photo has been uploaded. I'm going to come into Photos, click the photo that I enjoy or that I want to do, which is that one of Legend. And then I'm going to wait for it to update. It's going to yell at me, allow this, allow that, just a bunch of random shit. It's going to ask for my canvas size. I always hit original just because I have found that is easiest and helps with design because it's just, I don't know, it's nicer that way. Then I'm going to wait for it to load. Sometimes it takes like a century to load because my internet in the middle of nowhere is not the greatest. And then it's going to come up and it's going to ask me, do I want to extract line drawing, background removal? I hit extract line drawing. And so what this does is this turns it black and gray. And so from here, I'm going to change all of my settings to how I want it. Typically, I want it to be super duper light because then I can see like the shadows and stuff a lot easier when it comes time to actually design things. And so basically, this is how it's going to look when you begin. Next, we have a button in the corner for layers, and so I'm going to add a layer because the first one is basically just the picture of Legend, but I'm going to add a layer to this so that I can essentially just draw on one layer, have the photo of Legend on another, because if I draw on the one with Legend, I'm not going to be able to get rid of the photo, whereas if I have multiple layers, I can. And so you'll see right here, I've got the two layers, and if I hit the eyeball button, Legend goes away, and then I'll just have the blank layer, which is what I'm going to be drawing on. And then basically I just start drawing. I begin by doing a basic outline of whatever image I have. I plan on eventually getting a stylus one of these days. I just haven't done it yet, so I've been using my finger. And again, you can see here, now that I've actually done some drawing, I hit the eyeball, I remove the actual picture of Legend, and you can see the drawing that I've done so far and make some improvements or see if there's something you need to change. Here is the outline in complete detail. I do not have the main because the main is like the hardest part and typically what I save for last. Then I move on to colors, and I start with the lightest ones first and then move on to the dark ones. My initial colors kind of closely resemble the colors I will be using long term, but they're not like exact just because I'm starting small and working my way up. I'll also have the actual picture of Legend coming back and forth so that I can work on these highlights, work on these dark points, and just get it slowly but surely. This is a long, tedious process, and to be honest with you guys, every merch design I've done has sometimes taken hours upon hours upon hours of looking, and it starts off kind of looking like shit, and then the more you do it, the better it gets. It's just a long process, and it does require you to have some sort of artistic skill. Otherwise, you may or may not be as successful as you want. Once the design is complete, I move on to my handy dandy laptop so that I can actually add it to merchandise and stuff like that. Here is the finished design. This took me about 4 hours to make. So then I'm going to go into this folder on Google Drive and actually create a file with this drawing on it. And I'm going to add some text on here. This folder is also shared with one of my good friends. His name is Bill, and we're actually working on getting a little bit of a better merch store. We're working on going through Printify rather than the one we currently go through. But it's a process, and so he's helping me out with that. It dawned on me last minute that I needed to make my image clip art, so I moved to my phone real quick, found the image, made it clip art, and then I uploaded that clip art to Bonfire because I cannot make a clip art on my computer because I am not that skilled. I just know how to do it on my phone and my tablet, and I was doing this from work on my lunch break. So anyway, what I did here is I hit it, I uploaded it, I agreed to the terms and services. Once it got uploaded, I hit the official upload button. It's going to tell me that full color printing is required because there is a lot of color. And then it's going to load, and it'll eventually go onto the shirt. And from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up, hit save, which you'll see me do in a moment. I kind of move it to the middle of the shirt, but we'll adjust that in a moment. I hit the save button so that way it saves the design and I can go back to working on this from my laptop when I get home from work. Back to my laptop on my dashboard, I'm going to hit the campaign button and hit the draft campaign because that's what I was able to save on my phone. I'm going to come here and you're going to see exactly the design that I had done on my phone while I was at work. And so then I'm going to come over here, I'm going to hit text, and I'm going to create all of the nice fancy text that I want. I like to choose a lot of fun, unique sayings, maybe relatable sayings, because the more relatable it is, the more unique it is, the more people like it or can relate to it in some manner, the more likely you are to have sales. And this basically just goes into basic marketing 101. So yeah, from here I have depressed ? And then I'm going to find a font that I like. And I've got a whole phrase, a whole saying for this, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Then I'm going to move on to the next part of the saying, buy a horse. So the full phrase is going to be depressed, buy a horse, just because, I don't know, it's something a lot of people talk about, when they're struggling, or, they just have manic episodes where they just impulse buy horses. I used to be the same way, when I trained professionally. I had all my project horses. So I thought this was cool, thought this was funny, people would like it, stuff like that. And so I'm basically just going to now choose the colors for it. Because my design is kind of on the darker side, I want to make sure that I can, or that whatever colors I choose for the actual shirt designs, it's not going to blend in and you're going to struggle to see it. So from here on the other side, you're going to see that I have a bunch of products, right? And so I typically try to have 2 winter and 2 summer ones, and I'm going to start choosing colors. What colors look good? What colors look bad? And one thing that I very quickly realized was that I'm going to have to make my font black because it's going to blend in. Now, the colors are pretty true, so you'll see here how you can barely see the text. That's pretty much how it's going to look in person. When I say, sometimes you'll see things that you see them online and then they look totally different in person. Bonfire stays pretty true to their products and pretty true to essentially everything. So if it looks like the wording is going to fade, fix it before you order it, before you publish the campaign, stuff like that. So now let's say you want to add different products, hit add products, and then from here you're going to have a whole list of products. Personally, I like to have 2 summer clothes and 2 winter clothes, and so basically that's 2 long sleeve, 2 short sleeve. Typically one of them is going to be like a tank top or something like that, and then the other one's just going to be short sleeved, and then I'll have like a sweatshirt and then a sweater. A cool new design that I noticed was a zip up hoodie. That's never really been here before, so I decided I'd add that. Check it out. It did not look as wonderful as I thought it would, so I botched that idea. But anyway, I just do a variety of different things. Typically I have like 4 products, like I said, 2 winter, 2 summer. That way they can be for anybody. And the nice thing that I really like about Bonfire is you can have sizes of fucking everything. It doesn't matter who you are. You can have like 3X small to like 3X large, which is really nice. Here's that zip up hoodie, and this is why I decided to kind of botch the idea because of the design. I didn't think it would work as well as I had hoped it would. So I just go back to the tank top, and again, choose the colors for it, choose what you want for it, make it unique, make it fun. Try and stay away from white because all of this kind of caters to horse people, and if you know horse people, then you know shit gets dirty. So I try not to make anything white. Once I have decided all of my designs, I save my design just by hitting next, and then it's going to take you to this wonderful page where you want to estimate your sales, and then you're going to start choosing all of your selling prices. Now, it gives you recommended prices. You can change those prices however you want. I try and make things cheap. To be honest with you guys, I don't profit very much. I maybe profit $5 to $10 off of each design that I sell. And I try and make things cheap and affordable because if I wanted to profit like $15, then you guys would be spending like $60 on a hoodie. I am from a broke bitch home, and so I don't want, I understand what it's like to be broke and not be able to buy yourself things that you want to, so I try and make things affordable. The other thing is going to ask if you want to do in batches or on demand. So basically that means is like, if somebody buys 2 shirts and you're doing it in batches, after 3 months, you'll finally get those shirts, whereas on demand, it'll immediately ship them to you or to the customer, if that makes sense. From here, how are you making money or fundraising? I'm not a nonprofit, so I can't fundraise. I also accept tips. From here, it's going to ask, how do you describe your campaign? I typically do animal rescue, animals are awareness, just a bunch of random shit. Then it's going to ask you to add additional tags and stuff. Choose as many or as little as you want. Basically, what these tags are doing is it helps people. Your products are going to be found when you have a bunch of tags compared to if you don't have a bunch of tags, right? Basically, let's say somebody's looking like, hey, I want to buy a horse shirt. And so by having all of these tags, that shows people that, oh, this person has a bunch of horse shirts or has a bunch of horse designs and stuff like that. So basically, these tags just help your products be found and stuff like that. The other big thing to remember, marketing is specifically on you. If you do not know how to market and you cannot market on your social media, your merch store is not going to make a lot of money. I hate to say it, but it's true. I have a somewhat large following and I still don't always make a lot of money off of my merch, but the way I see it, every penny counts. Then it's going to ask you to add a title and a description. For the title, I typically just do exactly what the design says, and then for the description, I do something along the lines of, all the proceeds go to supporting the sanctuary horses and helping us help more horses in need. Just something along the lines of that, because while I'm not a nonprofit, I used to work predominantly with rescues, and from time to time I still do work with a few rescues. Then choose your display design. In other words, when people look up your product, this is the very first design they're going to see. They can go into the product and actually look at a bunch of stuff, but I like to try and make the display design pretty unique, stuff like that. It's going to ask you for more details. You don't have to if you don't want to. And then up here, you're going to see launch and then a little calendar button. I typically schedule all of mine because all of my social media posts are made like a month in advance. Then I typically try and launch my Wild Child merch on the 20th of every month. And so I'm going to schedule it for the 20th. I'm going to schedule it for super fucking early in the morning just so that I don't have to worry about it. So yeah. Once it's scheduled, you're pretty much done. So if you've not already, please hit the red subscribe button. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and podcasts available wherever you listen to podcasts. Buy our merch. Stay strong, stay true, stay wild.